of holding space, especially when it's uncomfortable. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what I'm going to feel or what I'm going to say. And that's a part of the magic. It's basically doing my best to show up for love. And sometimes I have these difficult obstacles that I feel like I'm wrestling. I struggled with an insomnia again this past night, this morning. I haven't been sleeping for a while because I have insomnia. And I had this dream last night, or maybe it was a nightmare. It's confusing. The person who I thought was my best friend for a number of years, and she was my date to wedding, and like she changed how I thought about the world in a way that I'm so grateful for, or at least at the time I was. And she was there for me when I needed somebody to accompany me home from the hospital. She traveled across the country to be there for me for that surgery, and she's the only person that did that. And yeah, I thought she was my best friend, and she turned against so many of the values, beliefs that we had in common, it seemed, for a number of years. And I don't feel safe even sending her a text message now. So strange how the people that we think that we love can sometimes break our hearts in ways that there's an animal in the ceiling. Hello, good morning. I recognize that we are sharing this space together, and I have complicated feelings about it. I would like you to find another home. Okay. For now, we will coexist. Even though it's difficult, we will model peaceful coexistence. Or at least do our best. Where were we? Okay. So this is turning out to be probably one of the most disappointing quickies of all time, I must say. Or maybe it's not, because there's something great about quickies, but then there's also something that is missing. And I think talking about our feelings, and for me, what kept me up was waking up from that dream/nightmare where I thought we were best friends again, and we were running to catch this boat ride, and we both managed to get on the boat ride, but somebody else didn't that was supposed to be there. And all the messed up stuff that happened was not impacting our friendship. And yeah, I had my best friend again. And I think she's really the only person that I've ever experienced as a best friend. I don't know if she actually felt like that, but I know that our friendship meant something significant to her because she did show up for me until she changed. And I think that she has taught me some important life lessons. Sometimes people break your heart. Sometimes friends will break our hearts. And will do things that are beyond what we could have imagined possible. And then still understand, like, I think she still wants to be my friend after doing some really awful things to me and not showing up in a significant way to repair the damage that she did. I don't feel safe to be in communication. And I've been listening to Eckhart Tolle, and he talks about not victimizing yourself. And I don't want to victimize myself. I don't see myself as a victim. I see myself as a survivor, as someone that has had a number of experiences where people basically neglect me in a variety of ways. And I don't think that that defines me. What defines me is that I'm still here and that I'm still me and doing my best to love myself and to practice loving in this universe, sharing love. I feel like after being neglected, it's easy to fall into cycles of hate. And I don't want to do that. I want to choose love. And I feel like there's a choice. And sometimes it might not feel like there's a choice, especially if we're lonely. And I think some people think that I'm desperate. I don't understand myself as desperate at this point in my life. I've made choices in the past where I think, looking back, that I was desperate for attention and desperate for connection, and I wish that I had been more cautious with who I had shared my body with and who I had shared my heart with. And at the same time, those experiences, the most neglectful and painful ones, have probably shaped me to become this imaginary boyfriend. And I love being an imaginary boyfriend. And it feels like love. It feels like intimacy. For me, I don't know if you can feel it too. In my imagination, we are showing up for love as best as we possibly can. And we're both yearning for this space where we can practice love, where we can practice being and playing, experimenting, and loving ourselves. When do we get to practice loving ourselves? And when do we get to practice loving ourselves in a sex positive framework where we can be silly, where we can laugh, where we can cry, where there's no expectation of sex, and there is a space for that option if the mood strikes. I love this. This feels nourishing, and it feels wholesome. And there's definitely aspects of what I have done on certain occasions that may not be described as wholesome. And I think that's cool too, because some of the more intense provocative movements and images feel like a representation that I've never seen before, or at least within a context of how we understand love and sex, that I don't think has been done before. There's this I have this desire for emotional intimacy, and I imagine that you do too, and that feels lacking in porn. I'm listening to my body. And that also feels lacking in porn, which is so heartbreaking when ideally porn would be really about connecting with our bodies and experiencing the magic of being and feeling and loving. But the messed up scripts and choreographies make it so narrow, and we can do whatever we want. We could have a dance party. We could have a light show. We could have, what do you call it? Is it called a bubble party? I'm imagining like millions of bubbles and playing with them. That sounds kind of awesome. And that could happen. I'm listening to my body, and it's telling me to have some movement. Oh. Do you want to join me for some gentle movement? Maybe the shoulders. Oh, that feels really good. Oh. And closing our eyes, if that feels comfortable, or lowering our gaze can also be a way to change the focus of our attention. Sometimes I struggle to be present with my eyes open and can connect with my focus and my body when my eyes are closed. Which makes me think about the magic of wearing an eye mask, and I'm wondering if it's where I'm hoping it would be. Where is it? I don't know. Kind of want to see if it's here. Oh, I stepped on something. Okay, well, I don't know where it is right now. If I had it, I would probably wear it, but I don't know where it is. Okay. I would like to invite us into a full body, sex positive, clothing optional, fucking optional massage. Is that a weird transition? Maybe a little? If it feels weird for you, pay attention to that. This is an experiment. And sometimes the experiments that don't go the way that we plan are actually the ones that we learn the most from. So I just want to say I don't assume or expect anything in particular to happen. I just want to do my best to practice love. Actually, as I listen to my body, I'm wanting to be horizontal. Would you like to join me for some